Okay, Timothy here with TWL Roofing and Construction. My voice sounds a little stuffy. I've had the flu this last week, but finally kicked it. Okay, so I'm over here at this house on Claremont. Just did some touch-up caulking here and there. This roof, looked at it in the past to see if it needed to be replaced. And I really couldn't find anything wrong with this roof except it needed some caulking here and there. So I did some caulking on the backside around the window, and I've checked that and it's still holding. I did want to go over a few things though. So I've been a licensed realtor for 30 years, and sometimes when these homes are for sale, you'll get an inspector that will look at an item, say he'll get on the roof, and well, first of all, there's no roof that is perfect. I haven't found one yet. The question is the roof functioning? Is it damaged? You know, if it's damaged, it needs to be fixed. If it's not functioning, it needs to function. This roof is functioning well. It's actually got these slant back louver vents in the roof system, which lets the hot air out of the attic, and they've got adequate ventilation on this roof. So that's the most important thing you can do to a roof. It will make your shingles last a lot longer. There's no fiberglass showing on the roof, so there's no reason to replace it. This was a higher grade shingle that the builder used on this roof. Some of the builders will go in with the regular 3-tab shingles, but this is a 30-year architectural shingle, so it should last quite a while. It's in good condition. So what I did today was just went through all of these vents and did touch-up caulking. Where you really need to have the caulking is at the base of these vents where the nail heads go into, or excuse me, where the nails go into the base of the vents. Another thing that the inspector was talking about was where there was a few lifted up shingles along one of the sidewalls. Okay, so let me explain how this works. So this flashing that runs along the wall, if you take that off, and behind there is what's called step flashing. Okay, that step flashing goes, it's a L-shaped flashing, and that's to prevent any water from getting into the sidewalls. And then the flashing on the outside is the counter flashing that goes over the top of those to make sure they're sealed up on the top side. So as the water drains, you know, it's just draining down. They overlap each other, so as the water is draining, it's draining downhill. Now, the shingles aren't going to set perfectly flat in that area because there's metal underneath that counter flashing. You know, metal just pop a nail in it and it's going to, you know, be bent a little bit. But the roof is functioning fine. It's even got, so when the builder built the roof, or the house, he put a little slot right here so that if the roof needs to be replaced, they can pull the shingles out and then put the shingles back in without it having to tear up this fascia board. Also, you want a little gap right there so that the water can flow underneath there. Water flows downhill. So it's all good. It's hardy plank, so it's not going to deteriorate. But with houses that are built with wood, you got to really make sure that you have a pretty good sized gap there. But yeah, I went through the whole roof, and I can't really say that there's anything wrong with the roof that I could fix. But another thing I wanted to go over too, so roofers, when they build these roofs, they will put you know, caulking at the end of this joint here. Well, if you look, so it's got shingles that run up underneath it this way, and then they make a cut and they fold this shingle over. You know, I've seen them where they caulk them and when they don't caulk them. It's not mandatory because you know, unless you have just a big hole there, and then really if you have a hole there, it needs to be redone because caulking is not going to hold up. But anyways, I went ahead and put this high grade, it's DAP waterproof caulking. It's high grade sealant. I went ahead and put that on all the joints. And another thing I did too, I went around the base of this chimney. So sometimes you can get water leaks around the chimney. The caulking was good around this chimney. They actually used the right type of caulking. I just put some extra around the whole perimeter there. It's clear, you can't really see it. This is the type of caulking that I use right here. It's, well, you can't read it, but it's DAP waterproof high sealant caulking. It costs a lot more, but that's the only thing that I use. Yeah, so you know, there's really, so another thing I wanted to go over too, so when they're building roofs, you know, they might have a tool that'll scuff a shingle. That's going to be on just about every roof that's built. And then later on, you know, somebody may come back and say, well, this is it looks like hail damage because there's like a little spot on the shingle. But if there was any type of hail on this roof, you would see impact marks on this soft metal right here, and there's not one ding on any of the metal. So the roof does not have hail damage, does not have wind damage. It is important though to keep up the maintenance on these roofs. So and that's what I did since the homeowner's been here, is kept the maintenance up on this roof, and just did a final touch. You might be able to see that caulking right here that I just ran. It's clear, and I ran it all along the perimeter right here. This is where you can get some water seepage, so just a little extra touch up there. But it's good to go.